What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And if you've been following the news, then you know that the big, beautiful bill stalled in the Finance Committee. And it drives me a little nuts because I feel like, I don't know. I mean, I can understand the budget concerns by some of the fiscal Republicans, but does this mean the end of emissions freedom? Well, let's talk about it. So what is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And yes, the big, beautiful bill did get paused in the budget committee, the budget finance committee. And they sent everybody home early for the weekend. They are coming back to work effective tomorrow. Today is Sunday, so they will be back tomorrow on Monday. But I've had a lot of people messaging me since that happened, basically saying, hey, can these bills, can the Stop CARB Act, can the Transportation Freedom Act in reconciliation in the House and the Senate resolving its differences on the bill, right? That's where we're at right now. While they're also trying to, some of these extra amendments and other stuff they're adding are going through the budget and finance committees, right? So does that mean the end of emissions freedom? No. It just means it becomes a lot harder if they're not able to ride this on the big, beautiful bill. So we already know the House is a shoo-in. Any emissions legislation, they can win because you only need a simple majority there. But when you get to the Senate, you need a 60-vote majority if it's new legislation, right? Are they going to be able to? They could probably pull Fetterman. They could probably pull Slotkin from Michigan, right? But you're still like, 5 votes short of having that majority to pass anything to do with emissions. So it kind of, is it the end of emissions freedom if they don't get this into the big, beautiful bill? No, there's already some things that are being pushed through, like the CRAAS, CRAAS and rule changes. They like double dipped on it to smack California. So that's happening no matter what. Those California EPA waivers for them to be able to set emission standards, that is a wrap. What we're looking for, though, is some of the stuff like in the Stop CARB Act, in the Transportation Freedom Act, that has language about useful life of emission systems. And what I mean by that is, like for diesel trucks, right? If the DPF system starts to fail or something goes wrong in the DEF system and you're at like 80,000 miles or 100,000 miles and they're telling you, hey, you got to replace the whole shebang, right? EGR, all of it, you got to replace the whole system. There should become a end of life for that system, right? Like it's all, like that truck ran for however long to get those miles and reduced emissions during that time. There needs to be that useful life policy. And the only way I think that that's going to happen is if it goes through with some of this reconciliation and marriage of these two different versions of the bill from the House and the Senate as they go through resolving differences is what it's called in Congress. So as they resolve the differences in the bill and they get it pushed through their different finance committees, then it gets put into the final bill. All right. And then that final bill goes to the president's desk. I'm just hoping that Senate Republicans and House Republicans understand this isn't just there's a lot of things in here that are good for middle class people. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. I can't tell you how many friends of mine that work as firefighters, a couple of Las Vegas Metro cop friends of mine that are literally like, dude, like not having to pay taxes on an extra 20 hours, which is time and a half, right? and not having to pay taxes on that, that is a huge pay rate. It's a huge bump in money and can totally change a lot of these people's lives. But we're not talking about tax cut. I might talk about that over on the news channel. But the thing I'm focused on here is the emissions. And I'm almost at a point now where I feel like any Senate Republican or House Republican, if they screw this up, right, whether it's over taxes or money or whatever, and there's a bunch of awesome stuff in the bill, and there is a ton of good stuff in the bill, but one or two things that you want to nitpick about, and you cause the bill not to go through Congress and the president doesn't get to sign it in budget reconciliation, their ass should be primaried. They should be kicked out. Straight up. This is a once in a generation type of opportunity to set these rules back, to get us back to common sense. And they can't screw it up. But stay tuned. I will give you guys an update tomorrow if we hear anything out of the Senate on the big beautiful bill. I will keep you posted. Like I said, I'm not admitting defeat or, looking like, oh, we lost. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. A lot of people are saying because it failed in that committee to get out of committee that it's failing. It's not. They've had the weekend to leadership over the weekend has had the time to speak to the different people that had their problems and figure out what do we need to do to get this to pass. So I think it's going to pass this week. I do. I really do. I think they're going to get it done because they said they would get it done before Memorial Day weekend, and that is fastly approaching. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what we do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.